All right, everybody, I'm back, and I'm driving back from OKC now to, let me put cruise control on, Tulsa, Oklahoma, getting ready to drive from somewhat sunny weather into rain and what I believe will be a snowstorm tomorrow morning here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. But man, as many of you know, I'm back on today. This would be called, I guess, Good Afternoon Greatness, Part 2. Hey, Bianca, how are you? So I started this one this morning before I went for the rest of my sessions today with David Green, the founder and CEO of Hobby Lobby. Just more amazing things. I literally did not want it to end. There goes a Hobby Lobby truck right there. Now all of a sudden, once you've been like, now that you feel like you're in the inner circle, you see Hobby Lobby everywhere. So I just wanted to recap just a few things on my drive back that stuck out from this morning's sessions. Maybe you've heard, hey Diane, welcome back. This is Good Afternoon Greatness Part 2 on Friday. So I just couldn't wait to share more stuff. But I am going to do this just so you all know. I am going to take my time over the weekend and debrief all my notes because I'm just now literally just left. So my mind is just kind of like, what is going on? We learned and talked about so many different layers. I'm still processing and still debriefing. But I am going to take some time and really create some great trainings from what I learned in the last 2 days, yesterday and today, and pass it all on to you. So for those of you that are faith-oriented, it'll be amazing. For those of you that are business-oriented, your jaw will probably drop a few times like mine. I'm going to warn you ahead of time, though. This family is a family of faith. That doesn't mean they've done everything correctly, and they will tell you that 100% up front. They have not been perfect, but they have a heart for God, and they have done the best that they know how to do what they feel called to do, and they've learned some things and made some mistakes over the way. But I'm warning you ahead of time, a lot of what they've taught the entire 2 days was extremely faith-based because they don't do anything without their faith. So I'm just warning you ahead of time. So if faith isn't your thing, then you may not want to tune into my sessions next week because it'll be a lot of that. And I will be posting earlier today, I said where they would be on YouTube. I'm not for sure if they'll go into YouTube or into Mentorfish. So stay tuned for that as well. Hey Maria, how are you? But I wanted to point out a few things that he said today that just stuck out to me. So they're talking about how much they grow. And these are just some walk away things. So maybe it'll speak to you right in the middle of your day perfectly because it spoke to mine. And I think it really encouraged me because these are things that I've said for years in my own life. And sometimes I believe what I say myself and sometimes I don't. And sometimes it's easier to make other decisions. I know I've said this to many of my stages. Hey everybody, I'm waving to you all. I've said this from the stage and on my trainings several years. But again, some people here go, oh yeah, Keith, that sounds good. You know, that makes sense. But then we really don't do it as effectively as we could. Well, they're growing like crazy. They have 900 stores all over North America. They're adding 50 more this year, 50 more next year. And he was talking about when they add that level of stores, on average, they got to hire about 300 managers a year. So they got to bring more people in. Hey, Maria. Hey, Sydney. They got to bring more people in and train them. And so he was saying when they bring these 300 new managers in on average per year, thanks for all the hearts and the love, he speaks to them. So they get to meet David Green when they're hired. But what he shared was, I don't speak about business. I don't tell them how to run their stores. I don't even get into the business of Hobby Lobby. I talk about 3 very, very important things when they come into as a manager. 3 very, very important things. These are the 3 things I'm going to teach them to do. And now my mind's blank. I remember 2 of them, so I'm going to start with the 2 I remember because I wrote them on my notes, but I'm driving, so I'm not going to look. One of the things was he talks about serving. Okay, I do remember. The first thing he said was you got as a manager, the thing that I want to really leave with you, 3 key words is serving. And how do you really do you really understand the power of serving each other as leaders in the company? And most importantly, how do we serve our customers? And David Green used this word. He goes, servant leadership is the most important thing that is going to help you succeed in your endeavors in your career at Hobby Lobby. So these are the 300 managers he hires every year to run new stores. He doesn't talk business. He doesn't talk displays. He doesn't talk profit margin. He doesn't talk anything strategically. He said, these 3 words I want you to get in your heart. Servant leadership. When you truly make your career here about serving the customers, serving each other, and serving your company and your family at home, you will be successful. And he goes into a whole teaching on servant leadership. So I'm going to teach some more on that next week, but I want you to think about that in your business. I know we're all in business to make a revenue and to make a living for the things that were important to us, our family and contribution, all those kind of things, and to make money. But he said beyond that, higher than that, it has to truly be about serving. If you're only about making money, you will not last long. You will not survive the trials. You will not survive the up and downs. You will not survive the obstacles. And so he just dives into absolute servant leadership. Hey, Jennifer. Hey, Darren, how are you? Waving at you all. Servant leadership was the number one thing he teaches his new managers. The second thing he teaches is to learn how to build a successful organization. Like, think about other people. Think team. Be organized. Again, seems very basic, but think about that in your business, whether you're an entrepreneur, you're in direct sales, you're network marketing. A lot of times we just kind of do things haphazardly, like, oh, we'll get to that, we'll get to my follow-up, I'll get to, organizing, or things fall through the cracks. Shipments, reorders, following up with new clients, being systematic in your way to reach out and meet people. He talked about organization and the power of organization and how important that is to keeping an atmosphere in the store that will not only make employees happy to work there, but it'll make customers comfortable to be shopping there. So think about that. He just has an uncanny ability to see the power and the necessity of being organized. So number one was being a servant leader. Number two is being organized, both in the store, both in building an organization like your team, and the atmosphere and the context that will create for success within each individual store. So it was servant leadership, organization, and the third one blew my mind. Oh my gosh, it was such a great confirmation for me. I've taught it at certain times in my life, full blown, full throttle. There's been other times I may have watered it down because it maybe not what my client wanted to hear or what they measure by. But he said the most important thing to me for you working here, are you ready for this? They expand 50 stores a year. They train 300 managers a year. It said the most important thing to us is your family and your marriage. Did you hear me? He said your family and your marriage. He says you will never do better here. Nothing we do is more important here than your family and your marriage and the attention you give to those things. That's why we're not open on Sundays. That's why we close at 8. We work a fraction of the hours our competitors do because we don't want you here more than 5 days a week. Your family is so important to us and to you. They offer marriage retreats and seminars. They offer chaplains. They offer all kinds of services for the employees to be fulfilling to their families and their marriages. Because he said, why would I want to employ a bunch of people and try to get everything I want out of them if I'm not pouring into the most important thing anyone can have, and that's their relationship with their family. I don't want to create broken families. I want to help heal broken families. And that is the most important thing you're going to hear from us as an employer and working for us, that nothing's more important to us than the state of your family and your marriage. And we're going to help you do that as best you can. You need time off. You need to take a day with them. Whatever it may be, it was one of the top 3 things. That's all he talks about. So he talks about serving, he talks about organization, and he finishes with the most important, the family and your marriage. How amazing is that? And they get people, of course, from all kinds of other retailers. And the feedback they get from that, of course, is baffling because they get people that come from, of course, Walmart, Target, you name them. I don't even know off the top of my head. But they're often coming over from other companies. And when they hear those are the things that the founder and the owner of the entire company did $5.6 billion in revenue in 2019. The owner of the company and the founder does not talk about profit margins, does not talk about performance. He talks about servant leadership, organization, and the importance of family and marriage. Oh my gosh, I'm going to teach more on that next week. It was amazing to hear. That's the secret to their success. That is the secret to why they have such low turnover. Did you hear that? Low turnover. I talk about that so much in the network marketing industry and direct sales industry. How do you begin to help low turnover? Don't tell me family drama and marital drama is not a big resource behind turnover in the network marketing industry. Many of you know it's 82 to 85% turnover within the first 6 months. How many people have enrolled in network marketing and gone home and told their spouse, hey, this is what I'm doing, rather than having a discussion? Or they have drama on, how much time away or how it's going to work, or does one spouse support and they don't want this, they're not getting the support that they want. The importance of that relationship being on board to create unity, not division. That's absolutely part of the turnover in the direct sales and network marketing industry. So it's just an amazing thing to hear him say and talk about that. I think one other quick thing I'll share that I thought was valuable, then I'll let you all get back to your day as well. But these are words directly from one of the top Forbes 400, a man of God and a man that is stewarding 48,000 employees in North America and all over the world, actually, because they have teams of people in other places. He said, we talk about God and our faith. We talked about that a lot. And he talks about how so often we do things and we're in such a society of we do to get, or cause and effect. We do something, we expect to see something. We want it now. We want to see it today. We want to see it in this moment. And he's talking about when you do things and you obey God, he is going to bless your life. That is an absolute fact. Now, he's looking at 50 years of experience from 1970 to 2020. And he goes, I can tell you without a doubt, when you obey God and you do what he's leading you to do, he will bless your life and your family. But here's the disclaimer. Here was his asterisk, if you will. It won't always happen when you think it should happen. And the blessing won't always look how you think it's going to look. Hey, Marcy, how are you? It may be a happy family. It may be health. It may be peace. It may be joy. It may be fulfillment. It may be finances. It may come in future. A lot of times he has said when God told him to do something and he obeyed, at first it seemed like it cost him something because it was uncomfortable or it was painful because he had to do something different or it made him feel uncomfortable. And for that short season, immediately it felt like it was a struggle to obey. But he said, without a doubt, when I obey God, I can now see the tapestry being woven together that no matter what, he believes 100%, of course I do too, when you obey God, you will be blessed. But so many people water down what God's telling them to do because they're afraid to do it. It's uncomfortable. They might lose a popularity contest. They might lose a position. They might lose a customer. They might lose some business or revenue. He talks about all these different things, but he says God always comes through in the long run, and you will always be blessed when you obey God. Hey, David. And I just thought that was so amazing to say because I've fallen victim to that. I do something and then I don't see a difference, or I don't see, quote unquote, the blessing that I wanted from God. And here's what he said. God's going to bless you however he wants to bless you. It may not always look like you want it to look, but nonetheless, he will always bless you sooner and or later, and to never question whether you should obey or not. Because if it was easy, everybody would do it. And it's not. But he goes, it is rewarding if you will keep obeying and look at the long run and wait for it. So I just thought those are some amazing things. I know there's things that I've wrestled with and I'm working on in my life too. I haven't arrived anywhere. I'm on my journey. But those are just some closing thoughts I thought I'd give to you all today on my drive back to Tulsa, Oklahoma from Oklahoma City. I'm so grateful to David Green, Mark Green, Steve Green, Barbara Green. They were all there, poured into our lives, me and 9 other people, in this intimate setting for the last 2 days. What an amazing opportunity. And I can't wait to share more of it with you here over the weeks to come. So stay tuned, stay watching, and I hope this created value for you today. And I'll be sharing more of it with you in weeks to come, especially next week for sure. And I will let you know where all that stuff is going to be. So that is Good Afternoon Greatness, part 2 for the day. And I think that's episode 5, part 2. So anyways, there we have it. I look forward to talking to y'all soon. Meditate on that thing, let it absorb into who you are, and have a great weekend. And I will talk to you again soon. God bless you all.